Hello everyone, this is your host, your friend, your boy, Jet Black, the one and only, here with another exciting live stream. Give me one moment to get the live chat up. If you're not familiar with what we do in these vlog videos, essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to post my day in the description box below. Then I'm going to tag the video. Then after that, I am going to go over my day, reading out the notes that I've taken about my day out loud and adding a few more details as I go over it. Then after I go over my day, I'm going to interact with the live chat, talk with you all, have like a virtual hangout more or less in the live chat, where we talk about pretty much whatever you want, whether it be my day, anime, superheroes, comic books, etc. It's just like a way for me to interact directly with the audience. After we hang out for a bit, around the time the video hits like an hour or so, I then will just go over my day one more time uninterrupted, and then after that I end the stream. So pretty much the first few minutes of the stream is just me going over my day and also getting all the extra video details and stuff put in. And then after that, it's a hangout, and then I go over my day one more time. So right now what I'm doing is I'm editing the description of this video, including all the stuff that I did today, the notes that I take throughout the day, so that you guys can read what I did today in the description box below. So in this video, Jet talks about, and then I paste in my notes, and I like to add in some spacing between the individual numbered points in my notes. Boom, 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 boom. And then once I'm done like editing and formatting the stuff in the description, then I can jump into just directly talking about my day. Boom, 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 boom. And like I said, during the period of time of which I talk about my day, I don't really look at the live chat. So it's mainly just for me to get all my thoughts out and talk about my day first, and then be able to jump in and interact with you guys afterwards. Then I jump into my day one more time at the end, just so that people who are watching it live who maybe missed me jump in at the beginning before can see me jump in at the end afterwards. Boom, 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 boom. It's interesting to see that January is almost over, because soon I'm gonna have to change some of these tags to say like February 2019 instead of January 2019. This year, I'm doing like the true daily vlog, like an actual vlog every day. So having playlists for the individual months within the year, I feel like is going to be really helpful. And then I also am going to have a full year playlist that just has all the videos of 2019. And it's being built as I like film them, which is interesting, because I've never really done the vlogs like that before, to where you're able to say, what did I do on this day in January? Oh, I can just go to the January playlist and it's like all there. I might even try to organize them into like weeks, which would be interesting. Like first, second, third, fourth week of January kind of thing. I think that would be kind of dope as well. But let's see. I now have all the details written out for the video. So I have the tags done, the description done. I set like the category and everything. So I think I'm now ready to actually just jump in and start talking about my day. So this is the part where I go over what I did today. When I go over what I did today, I don't read the live chat. I read the live chat afterwards, and we do like a big hangout. So stay tuned and please be patient. So I went to sleep right after Matt and Jarrod left yesterday. When I woke up, I exercised while watching Pretty Much It. Pretty Much It is a YouTube channel that does comedic movie commentary. Their Spy Kids 3D commentary is pretty solid. Now, Spy Kids 3D is a movie that I saw in theaters as a kid, and it's still probably the most spectacular 3D movie I've ever seen. I know that sounds weird. I imagine a lot of people, when they think of like what's like the best 3D movie they've ever seen, they probably start thinking about stuff like Avatar, the James Cameron film. They'll think about, what is the next one that comes to my head? There was a Wizard of Oz film that I think was just called Oz with James Franco. I think that was actually like a pretty okay like 3D movie just for like the spectacle of it. You know what I mean? I really wanted to see Valerian, but I never saw it. But just seeing the trailers, it really popped out at me. And Tron Legacy was one of those movies that, like, when it first came out, Real D 3D was like a brand new thing, and it was like, whoa. So I imagine a lot of people think of that when they think of like best 3D movies they ever saw. But Spy Kids 3D was old school, red and blue 3D glasses kind of thing, but I think they were actually like pink and green or whatever. And it was the kind of 3D movie where they weren't afraid to just throw stuff at you. They threw stuff at you like the whole time, and you felt like you could like reach out of the TV and like grab the stuff that was coming out of the movie. So Spy Kids 3D is one of my favorite 3D movies of all time, and it also was a thing that I used to always see at the dentist office. They used to like play it all the time, and whenever they would ask me like what did I want to watch, I watched Spy Kids 3D. So it was interesting to hear the commentary that they had, like the comedy commentary from Pretty Much It. Like I said, it's a pretty solid YouTube channel where they do comedy commentary while they like watch a movie. They just like make jokes on it and talk. It's pretty cool. If you like stuff like Game Grumps, think of like Game Grumps, but it's a movie that they're watching rather than a game they're playing. So yeah, I'd recommend Pretty Much It. Boom, 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 boom. So next up, I went to the mandatory scholarship meeting for this month. I had root beer and pizza for my one meal for today. The meeting went well, and I learned about two up-and-coming interview opportunities. Now, when it comes to the root beer and pizza and like why that matters, like why that's noteworthy, I was debating whether or not I wanted to go to Sandella's and get my usual, the Brazilian flatbread, or if I wanted to maybe go to Dunkin', treat myself as Friday, get like some big and toasteds on biscuit and like some donuts and like go ham, or if I wanted to go to the mandatory scholarship meeting, which I was going to go to anyways. But the big thing was I going to eat there? Because I only eat once a day, so it makes anything that has to do with food like a more interesting part of my day because I'm like having to make a decision on what am I going to eat because whatever I eat is going to be the only thing that I eat that whole day. Um, so I have meal plan, and to not use the meal plan kind of makes it go to waste. It's essentially like you pay for a certain number of meals, and then once you like pay for that certain number of meals, um, you can either actually eat those meals or you can like let them kind of like Thanos snap in the wind. So I was like, if I go to Sandella's, I'll use like one of the meal swipes, which is essentially just me like saving money because each meal I don't eat is just a meal that like you never get the money back for. If I go to Dunkin', it's like the opposite. While I really love breakfast food and jelly donuts are my shit, it would cost like more money for me to like get Dunkin', which is something that doesn't just come with the meal plan. I can use Charger Bucks at Dunkin', but I'd rather save up my Charger Bucks to get like the extra toppings that I like to get on Sandela stuff. So I would probably spend real money at Dunkin', which is like even worse. Um, so I was like, should I like get Sandella's, which is like the most economical option because it's essentially a meal that I've already paid for? Should I get Dunkin' to like treat myself? It would be like the first time in a while that I've had a breakfast that was actually breakfast, or should I eat at the mandatory meeting? Now, you may be wondering, like, eat at the mandatory meeting. Like, why don't you just do that? Because it's a thing that you already know you're going to, so you're not, like, going out of your way to go somewhere else so that you then have to go to the meeting afterwards. Um, it's a situation where, like, food is already being provided for you for free. Like, it doesn't cost you anything. The only thing that cost you is that you didn't use, like, your one meal for the day. Um, but that's okay because you got the food for free and you still get to treat yourself because it's something different. It's not like the same thing that you get every day. The issue that I have with the mandatory meeting is that I've been to meetings before, not for my scholarship, but like for different like obligations having to do with like policy meetings and like stuff like that. Um, and at those meetings they'll have pizza, but they'll have like strict rules on like how many slices you can get, and there's someone like watching the pizza to make sure that you don't like get like more slices than you're supposed to. And for one meal a day, that sucks because the way that they're like trying to serve the pizza out, they're serving it as if like we only have enough for like so many people, and we don't expect everyone here to like eat enough to like fill them up for the day. We just expect them to like get enough to hold them over for the meeting, more or less. Um, So it's not the best for me to like go to events like that, because I'm expecting a lot more out of it than what they're necessarily like willing or able to provide. This time around, at the scholarship meeting, they weren't like too enforceful when it came to like the rules on like the pizza. It was recommended that you get like a couple slices, but there was no one straight up watching over the pizza, asking you what you wanted and like serving it to you, because that's like the highest level of regulation at that point. What are you gonna do? Like snatch the pizza out of the box? That's just not cool. But because the pizza boxes were more or less unsupervised, and they bought like a ton of pizza, and not enough people showed up to like wipe all those pizza boxes out, I didn't feel bad about getting like four slices. I'm like, I need enough to get my one meal for the day. I gotta like have like my full like 1 day serving. So it worked out well. Also, when I dipped, I was gonna get an extra cup of root beer, but the root beer bottle was pretty much almost empty anyways. So I just kind of took the bottle. I said bye to my friends, and I dipped. But it went well, the mandatory scholarship meeting. I'm glad that there are a couple interview opportunities coming up, almost at internship opportunities, a couple interview opportunities coming up with local agencies. I've made sure to submit my resume so that I can at least be in the running for those interview opportunities. You have to be chosen for those. So hopefully I'm selected out of like the other scholarship recipients to participate in these interviews. It would be interesting to be able to stay in the area, but also fulfill my scholarship obligation and work for the government. So fingers crossed on that. Wish me luck. Yo, Dookie Dropper, welcome to the stream. It's good to have you. Don't forget to smash that like button. Right now, I'm reading through my day. After I'm done reading through my day, I'll then read the live chat. So, after my meeting, Collin picked me up from the optics building. Collin, Jarrod, and I went to Publix to pick up a few things. I got the groceries that I needed, paid Collin back for the movie ticket, and Collin picked up fresh pizzas for D&D. So, to give that a little bit of context, the mandatory scholarship meeting was at the optics building. Uh, I have been needing more toilet paper, more paper towels, more shampoo, and more burritos forever. I had like one burrito left in the freezer. I had like the bottom half of a shampoo bottle left, a single roll of toilet tissue that was like getting like lower, and a single roll of paper towels that was getting lower. So it was like I legitimately am in like conservation mode. I can't use like too much of anything because I don't want to just run out of everything, more or less. So I really needed to go to the grocery store. But whenever I would hang out with friends, I wouldn't think about it. So I just like wouldn't do it. So the way that I ended up getting around that, Colin bought me a ticket to the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie, and I always have to make sure that I like pay back my friends whenever they like get something for me. I normally prefer to not owe people money, nor do I like people owing me money. I would prefer no one owe anyone money. It's just like an additional stress that I don't enjoy. I don't like expecting people to give me money, and I don't like people expecting me to give them money. So when Colin hit me up with the movie ticket for Dragon Ball Super Broly, I was like, I need to pay him back as soon as possible. But I normally don't have a lot of cash on me, so I was able to kill two birds with one stone. I was like, Colin, you regularly go to Publix anyways to get like pizza for D&D. They normally like pick up a DiGiorno, and you, I still owe you money for the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie like ticket thing, and I have groceries that I need to pick up. So essentially, Colin and Jarrod and I all went to Publix so that like they could pick up the pizza, I could get the groceries that I've been needing for a hot minute, and also so that I could get cash back, so I could give Colin the money that he owed me. Sorry, reverse, the money that I owed him. Also, we haven't seen the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie yet. We're gonna go see that tomorrow. That's the movie ticket that I was referring to give you guys a little bit more context. Also, when it comes to why I say fresh pizzas, it's because normally they get DiGiorno pizza that like everybody like splits except me because I only eat once a day. Um, but this time around, they went to like the Publix like deli where they make a pizza like fresh. So they like take the dough, roll it out, put like the sauce, cheese, and meat on it, put it in a box, and then you buy it at the store and you cook it at home the same way that you would cook like a DiGiorno pizza. And the idea is that you're getting like more quality because it was made like right then and there. I guess. I've actually never understood the appeal of a like take home and cook when you want to pizza. I always think of pizza as a convenience food, as something that like you get relatively at the last minute and it comes and you don't have to cook anything. You just like wait for it to show up. So I don't understand establishments like Papa Murphy's or DiGiorno or like the Publix like deli pizza. I'm like, I'd rather just go somewhere like Little Caesars and like immediately get a pizza. It's just already hot and ready and it doesn't cost a lot of money. Or if I like have like time to wait, maybe I'm like to get a pizza that you have to cook yourself, and that it's convenient in the sense that as soon as you want the pizza, you could have already put it in the oven and once it I'm currently going over my day and also talking about how DiGiorno pizza confuses me. After I do that, of course, I'm going to hang out with you guys in the live chat, so please stay tuned. Let's see. Boom, 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 boom. So yeah, so then after we got the pizzas for D&D and did like the Publix trip, Avery joined us back at Collin's apartment and started playing fighting games. So we hit up Smash Ultimate, and of course I played like me Gunner, and we had like a few good matches. I enjoyed my time. Then after that, my D&D character leveled up because everyone levels up after Collin's campaign sessions. Sometimes in D&D, the way that they set it up is that you'll like do like a specific like mission, or you'll like kill a monster, or you'll just do something that's cool, and your DM will be like, hey, you like gained experience, and you gain so much experience and then you level up. Collin, instead of keeping up with experience, he just says, oh, you guys played a session. Because you finished a session, you're just all a level higher. So everybody leveled up. It wasn't like just me. That's just the way that he does it. I think it's called like the milestone system, but the milestone is you completed a session. Like that's pretty much it. So my D&D character leveled up. My character can now better track and recall information concerning fairies. He also can speak the language of fairies and can better explore, track, and forage across like coastal regions. Before, my character was really good at like tracking and learning information about beast, and he was really good about like exploring and foraging inside like forest areas. So essentially, I'm now not only like an expert in like beast and able to like talk to beast, but I'm also an expert in like fairies. I'm able to like talk to fairies. I can like speak their language, which is really helpful because in D&D, we're facing off against the cult of Oberon, who's like the god of fairies, and a lot of his followers are of course fairies. So watch out. I'm now like better at like tracking down and like killing fairies, more or less, is like what I got from my level up. So we played Smash Ultimate for a bit as CJ, Avery, Matt, and Dozer started arriving for D&D. Avery arrived, I think, the earliest. Like he showed up first, and then other people started to come in over time. Once everyone had arrived and Dozer made his character, Dozer had not made a character for the campaign yet. He missed our first D&D meeting, but he was able to make this one. So his character kind of like pops into the story. What's interesting about Dozer's character, or at least the first thing that everyone noticed, is that he's a ranger. Oddly enough, we have three rangers in the party. Me and Max both decided to be rangers, but without talking to each other or knowing that each other were rangers. So it was a sudden like, oh, you're a ranger too. You know, it was kind of interesting to like accidentally have two rangers. But now Dozer is also a ranger, and it's a similar thing where like he didn't know that anyone else was a ranger. So it's like when you go to a party and like everyone's dressed in like the same outfit kind of thing, but you guys didn't originally coordinate it. So yeah, we got three rangers in the party, which is interesting in large part because Collin was like, let's try and avoid having multiple people of the same class. But because we didn't talk to each other about like what our characters were gonna be like, it just ended up being that way anyways, that we just have multiple people of the same class. It's also interesting because Collin has been very vocal about how he thinks the ranger class sucks and that it's not very good, yet three people like picked to play rangers. So, you know, that's the thing. So, we started playing D&D after Dozer finished his character. I'd say the worst moment in today's D&D session for me personally was probably my character accidentally hitting himself in the face with a quarterstaff while fighting a fairy. So like I said, I just had like leveled up today. My character went from level 5 to level 6, and he's now like better at hunting fairies. So in this big fight against like six fairies, my character is like, I'm gonna try and like think about like what are like fairies weak to, and it's like, well, fairies are like weak to bronze, and it's like, oh, well, I don't have any bronze with me. Okay, note to self, I need to get some bronze. Okay, so what is a weak spot for like where do you hit a fairy to like really like hurt it? And it's like, oh, you hit it like right under its wings, in the back. It's like the weakest point for a fairy where you can like probably like cripple a fairy in one hit if you like hit it right. It's like, oh, cool, so I'm gonna like aim for that. But I rolled like a natural one. So in D&D, if you roll like a 20 on the die without like adding anything to it, something really spectacular happens. In D&D, if you roll a 1 on the die without adding anything to it, something really bad happens. So when I tried to like hit the fairy in the back with my quarterstaff, I rolled a natural 1. So I missed the fairy, the quarterstaff like hit the ground, bounced up and like hit me in the face. Then the fairy felt like crowded around, and he just said, he did like a big like area of effect like explosion wave kind of attack, and it caused everybody to like fall down, but it knocked my character unconscious. So more or less in my fight against a fairy, I had already like tried to like shoot at the fairy and have my gorilla throw rocks at it. I have a gorilla in the campaign, by the way. But I missed, and the gorilla missed, and I think I used up like one or two bullets. And I only had like 10 bullets to like use in the first place, and bullets are expensive, so it was just really shitty. To the first time I ever shoot my gun in the campaign, miss with like two shots, and like my gorilla, the first time I ever like command my gorilla to use his rock attack, for him to also miss, and then for me to try to hit the fairy once it like ran up on me with the quarterstaff and also miss, and then hit myself in the face to just get knocked out in essentially the first combat that my character's ever been in. Other than that one time I fought a bunch of possessed apples, which also happened today. It was just like, oh well, that's very anticlimactic. It just seems like my character probably shouldn't fight people. It's not that my character isn't capable. Like it's not like they're not able to learn about like weaknesses of the enemies that we fight, and like plan ahead. I probably just needed more preparation and like a better plan. So I think my character in future combats will come in more prepared and try to do less on his feet. He'll probably like have ideas in mind. So even though that was like the worst moment for me personally in today's D&D campaign, it wasn't like a deal breaker. If anything, I just learned more about what I should do in future combats. Get bronze and find ways to hit them in the back. Hopefully, ways that are very difficult to miss. And then I'd say the best moment in today's D&D session was probably Dozer's character rescuing me twice in one session. He saved me from a group of possessed apples that I mentioned earlier. Those possessed apples were so badass that they later killed the king, which is a whole story on its own. And then he also jumped in to save me from a group of fairies when I hit myself in the face with a quarterstaff. Dozer came in and he like helped heal me a little bit, because I had already taken like a good amount of damage from earlier events that had occurred in the campaign. So shout out to Dozer, personal MVP. Every time I was in danger, Dozer like stuck his neck out for me, and he helped me out in the campaign. So I truly appreciate it. So yeah, those were like my character's lowest and best moments in the campaign. Uh, Getting his ass whooped in like his first couple fights, and actually getting saved by one of his friends. Nani said lol, Dozer the healer. Let's see, scrolling down. So Dozer does have like some healing capability. I think Avery's character can heal too. He's like the son of a god. That's like the actual story behind him. And I think Jarrod's character can heal. He can summon the power of his god to manipulate blood, and I think he can use that to heal people. So we have at least three people who can heal in the party. I personally am not a healer for real, so that's just not something that I like can really do. Let's see. Nani said, "What was yours? What was my what?" I guess would be what I would ask you in response to that. After playing D&D, we played fighting games for a while. We played Blaze Blue, and it's been a long time since we played Blaze Blue, so it took me a minute to get back in the groove of it. I played a few pretty close games and won a few nice battles, like really like clutch fights where both life bars get like this low, and then you get them with that like last little bit. And I love games like that. I think that's like the main reason why I play fighting games. I like it when you and your opponent's skill are like so even that it's like barely a fraction of like a health point difference between like you and like losing or winning. So I had a few pretty close fights. Some I won, some I lost, but I like the fact that we were like on even playing fields more or less when it came to like performance in the fights. But I also had a few where I just got completely stomped, where I just got annihilated. Uh, and in those fights, a lot of them were near perfects, but that's something that I really like too. The fact that my opponent dominated me hella hard, but it would normally be near to the end of the fight. My opponent only has to hit me one more time and they'll get like a perfect victory. And I would somehow, after not hitting them at all, like for the whole fight, hit them like once right before I die. And even though you lose the fight, your opponent still is like, what happened to my perfect? They have like a hard, like, even though they won, they have a hard, like, I can't believe I didn't get a perfect. I was so close. And you get that little bit of achievement out of it. You're like, they beat the shit out of me, but I still put up the slightest bit of a fight, enough for my opponent to have been like, how did they do that? So I actually did enjoy Blaze Blue, whether I was winning or losing, whether it was a close game or you barely inch your opponent out of a perfect. Collin did perfect me at least once tonight, which was interesting. I wasn't able to get in that one hit, but I had fun either way. I really enjoyed my time playing Blaze Blue. It was fun. After playing fighting games, Max took Jarrod and I back to our respective homes, and in the car we shared our thoughts on tonight's D&D session, so that was like a pretty cool time. Then once I got home, I put away my groceries, took out the trash, and started exercising. After I exercised, I watched more Pretty Much It and ate my one meal for the day, which was cereal and a burrito. After that, I jumped in the shower, got dressed, freshened up, and I started this live stream. Now, without further ado, since I've finished going over my day, by the way, if you want to see all the stuff that I just talked about, I actually stream D&D. It's like a 4-hour live stream, and everything that I just said about my day is written in the notes in the description box below. Now, let me jump into the live chat. It's time for me to chat with you all for the next like half an hour or so. Dookie Dropper did his normal like, hey, yeah, hey, yo, bro. Yo, Dookie Dropper, welcome to the stream. It's good to have you. Don't forget to smash that like button. Glad to have you on the stream. Nani said, hot thumbnail. He said, where's everyone? Hello, Nick. So Nick got murked. Where's Banks on Matt? Cool. So he got murked. You got that Trunks hair. Black Trunks. Black Trunks. Let's see. Lol, Dozer the healer. And he's like, what was your character? My character's name is Swags on Fools. Swags on Fools is... There's a lot behind Swags On's character. I actually wrote a whole book on Swagzon when I was like developing his character, and the book goes into detail about Swagzon's backstory, his powers and abilities, his techniques, etc., etc. So, long story short, Swagzon is all right in the chat, like his name, Swagzon Fools. So Swagzon is a forest gnome who's related to the royal family because the story takes place in Fool's Kingdom, which is the kingdom that is run by the character that I played in the last campaign. So, since my character in the last campaign became king, it's now been like 300 years. Swags on Fools is a great descendant of him. And essentially, Swagzon's father was supposed to become the king, and he was like, nah, I don't want to do that. I'd rather just live in the forest. So he goes and he leaves his, like, life of riches and luxury to, like, live in the forest and, like, fight to survive. So instead of it being a rags to riches story, it's like a riches to rags story, but intentional. He falls in love with a forest gnome who is like one of the fiercest hunters in the land, who travels throughout the forest hunting down dangerous beasts. Together they go on many adventures, and eventually they have a kid, me, Swags on Fools. Swags on is born with the natural ability to speak with small animals, and as he grows older, he explores his magic further in order to be able to build greater bonds and connections with animals, and to be able to talk with like larger animals. And as he explores magic more and more, he starts to believe that you can do anything with magic as long as you get the right components. Testing this theory, he decides that he wants to go on an adventure out of the forest and into the bigger cities so that he can find the components that he needs in order to build a god. Because he thinks that because magic has no limits, it should be possible to make a god. So that is essentially what my character in D&D is like, Swags on Fools. And like I said, I wrote a whole book on him. Feel free to jump in that description box below. I believe I have a link to my Amazon on there, and you guys can check out that Swags on Fools book. Blah, blah, blah. So let's see, Ryan said hi. Yo, Ryan, welcome to the stream. It's good to have you. If you haven't already, make sure to smash that like button. Truly appreciate it. Ryan said, well, then Nani said Nickabenson. Then Ryan said, so did you see that Gillette commercial? What did you think? I don't think the Gillette commercial was bad. I honestly don't. Jarrod hyped it up as if it was like a really insulting thing. And Collin hasn't even seen it, and Collin's like, "Oh, it's horrible." But I don't think it's bad at all. I think it's only weird because it's Gillette. You know, they're like a razor company. I just don't think it's necessarily like their message to make. Really, it's not anyone's message to make, but it's not a bad message. The concept that like people can do better, that's just always true. And I don't think there's anything wrong with anyone saying that, you know, that people can do better, that a lot of people have like made mistakes, and that it's important for us to like be better and not make those mistakes as much, and to like try to be better. I feel like people are offended because they think it like attacked their masculinity, because instead of it being people in general should be better, it's that men should be better. But that doesn't make it any less true to make it like a targeted thing to say like men should be better. Men should be better. They're not saying that women can't improve, you know. Uh, I don't understand why people are offended by the Gillette commercial. I don't think it's bad. I don't even think it's too like heavy-handed on its message. It's just weird because it's a razor company making this commercial. I don't know who would be better to say it, like to have this kind of commercial, but it's just there. I wouldn't have even known it was a thing if Jarrod didn't tell me about it. But those were my thoughts on the Gillette commercial. Then Nani said Swags and Fleek. Then Ryan said, you seen the new list of Yu-Gi-Oh cards? I have not. I can pull that up now. And then Nani says, is that Ryan? And then he said, next time, call him Dreads on Fleek. Probably wouldn't call him Dreads on Fleek, but I appreciate the compliment. Um, I'm not sure what my next D&D character will be like, and it'll be a while. Well, I guess it won't be a while. Matt wants to do a like two-person campaign that has like me and Jarrod in it, so I kind of do need to be thinking about what my next D&D character will be like. Um, but I don't really know too much about like the world that Matt's making. I think Matt's somewhat trying to build the world around us, and if that's the case, I need to like think more about my character so that Matt can build a world to accommodate my character. So it's just something I'm gonna have to think about over time. But yeah, I'm gonna type in YGO organization, and I'm going to look at the new cards list. First off, my mouth is getting a little bit dry. I've been talking for like half an hour. Give me one moment to get some water and then come back. I'll be right back. So I'm getting that water. Be back in a second. Oops, sorry about the wait. Ryan said Jet taking a swig. Okay, so I'm back. I just got back with my water. The longer I sit and talk, the more like my mouth gets dry. So let's see. What is it that I need to look at? I have YGO organization's website like open on my screen. I just don't know what I'm supposed to click on. Oh, it's the new like forbidden limited list or whatever. Like the stuff that got banned. Yo, Monkey D. Luffy, welcome to the stream. It's good to have you. Right now we're in the hangout section of the stream where I'm just like hanging out with you guys and talking. I already went over everything that I did today, but I'm going to do that again at the end of the stream. About like 30 minutes or so from right now, I'm going to re-go over my day. So if you want to stay tuned for that, that's great. Of course, feel free to talk in the live chat, ask me any questions that you have. This is just a hangout where we can just talk about like whatever we want. Right now, Ryan is asking me to look at some of the new Yu-Gi-Oh stuff. There's a new forbidden/limited list for the Yu-Gi-Oh TCG. Excuse me, Monkey D. Luffy said, ah, nice. Also, don't forget to smash that like button. Truly appreciate it. So let's see. Forbidden. Fairy Tale Snow is banned? What? It became more or less a staple card. Also, thank you for smashing that like button. Truly appreciate it. That is a surprise ban, I would say. Grinder Golem got banned. That's not too surprising. That also became more or less a staple of like an engine thing. Soul Charge got banned. I used to see that on occasion, but I didn't really think Soul Charge was that bad. I didn't see it enough for me to go like, damn, I can't stand him. A Heroic Champion card got banned. I'm gonna have to look that nigga up. Who is this card that got banned? I haven't seen people play Heroic Champions for them to get banned. Monkey said, I gotta catch up on Black Clover. I watched like the first few episodes of Black Clover. But I didn't get like super into it. I heard it got better later on. So I was thinking about skipping forward. I think I might own this card because I have like a tin of like Heroic Champion and Heroic Challenger stuff. What did he do? He said Rango. He said they don't play the Heroic deck. So you're saying people are playing him just in Warrior decks in general, so he's just good, like generically. I see. Monkey said same. It's just Naruto, but with mages and a Wizard King instead of Hokage. It's interesting that you say that. So Naruto originally was going to be like a wizard school thing instead of being ninjas. But the creator of Naruto saw that Harry Potter was becoming popular, and he didn't want to look like a rip-off like Harry Potter guy. So instead of doing wizards, he was like, what if they were all ninjas? But I don't think he changed much more than that. Like, I think some character design choices changed because he made them ninjas instead of wizards. But all their crazy powers and stuff that they have, I feel like they have so many crazy abilities because he originally just wanted them to have, like, magic powers where you could essentially just do anything anyways. Which is why I think later on in Naruto, it becomes really apparent that they're, like, not really ninjas. You know, a lot of the stuff that they do isn't necessarily, like, stealthy. It's just huge superpower battle royales that make a lot more sense if all the characters are like wizards, but because they're ninjas, it's just fucking crazy. But that doesn't mean it isn't good. Um, but I think it would have been interesting if the creator of Naruto had like held to his original idea and just kept them wizards anyways. I don't think anyone would have been upset and been like, man, this is rip off Harry Potter, because I feel like the stories are different just because they have like kids with magic. J.K. Rowling doesn't like have that like locked. You know, anybody can do a kids with magic story. Ryan said still ninjas. It's like crazy, mega, super, uber powerful ninjas. Monkey said it went from throw explosive shurikens at you to summon giant snails and demons and summon the dead. Yeah, it got like really insane with the like type of stuff that they were doing. But like I said, like still fun, still really cool, and I feel like Naruto still would have been cool with them being wizards rather than being like ninjas, but it's fine that they're ninjas. I feel like that is also interesting. Excuse me. Let's see. So we got a few things that are limited. Um, Scapegoat was already on the limited list, wasn't it? I'm pretty sure Scapegoat was already here. Dark Greffer. How many people were really using Dark Greffer? I guess it makes sense because he's like a free, like, foolish burial for darks. But I just wasn't seeing a lot of that. Gold Sark got limited? What the fuck? Let's see. Ryan said Scapegoat was semi-limited. Oh, so now you can only have one Scapegoat in your deck. Goodness. Did they really think Scapegoat was, like, that good? Like, it was... That's interesting to hear. So, Super Saiyan 2 Kefla said, how are you? Oh, fantastic as always. Thank you for asking. I actually went over my entire day at the beginning of this video. At the end of the video, like in 20 minutes or so, I'm going to go over my day again. So you can stay tuned for that if you want to learn more about what I did today. Also, in the description box below, I wrote out everything that I did today. So if you want to just read that for yourself, you can. Right now, I'm just hanging out with you guys in the live chat. We're just talking about Yu-Gi-Oh! At the moment. They dropped the new TCG banned/limited list. Well, forbidden/limited list. Super Saiyan 2 Kefla said, who is Nick and who is Benson? I am Nickabenson. The YouTube channel name is just my name. But I normally go by Jet, like the airplane. Ryan said Greffer would be used highly effectively in dangers. Oh, okay. But yeah, Kefla, you can just call me Jet. Also, feel free to smash that like button if you haven't already, and it's good to have you. Nani said, read me. I did. Kefla said, subbed with my clitoris. Thank you for smashing that subscribe button and that like button with your clitoris. Truly appreciate it. Let's see. I don't know of the strategist Necros thing. Have people been playing Necros stuff again? Ryan said same. Then Super Saiyan 2 Kefla said no problem. Let's see. Magical Midbreaker Fields. Haven't heard of that either. Slash Draw sounds familiar. I feel like I've heard that name before, but I haven't like seen it. Semi-limited had no changes, and then there's some things that are no longer on the list. So Insector Hornet's no longer on the list. Necros Brionac. Isn't that like the big like Necros card? Like the one that people like really fucked with? Or am I mistaken? Ryan said Shurit being banned meant Necros were too hard to play. So they limited Shurit to make sure that you could play Necros, and then they removed Brionac from the ban list. Ryan said with it back, it might be a playable deck now. Yeah, because I heard that Necros like stole the meta for a time. But then they got rid of like Brionac or whatever, and then I thought that was like what made it not playable. And then he said Necros Brio. So I guess Necros is going to make a slight comeback. How viable do you think Necros is right now, considering the fact that it's a deck that isn't necessarily limited by link summoning, because of the fact that it's like ritual based? And isn't it like a ritual based archetype that makes it with the greatest of ease, like your ability to ritual summon? Like it just made it really easy for you to get out monsters, or am I mistaken on that? Thank you for the compliment, Kefla. Let's see. So, Evil Swarm Extinction Knight, I didn't know anything about him. Interrupted Kaiju Slumber. Oh, Interrupted Kaiju Slumber is no longer on the list at all? You can have that at 3? That's an interesting one to put at 3. Limiter removals at 3? The fuck? That's also really interesting. I'm not recognizing a lot of these. But Interrupted Kaiju Slumber, I'm surprised by, and Limiter Removal also seems a little too strong. Let's see. Ryan said they also now have access to the Incantations. True, because Incantations has been Konami's big push to try and make rituals like a lot better. And then Ryan also said the kaiju engine's back. So that's interesting. Why are they giving such a big boost to kaiju? Why would you want to do that? Then Queef did a wave. Good to see you, Queef. I'm gonna call you Que. Excuse me for short. Welcome to the stream, Que. It's good to have you. Don't forget to smash that like button. Truly appreciate it. Que said liked and subbed. Thank you for smashing that like button and subscribing. Truly appreciate it. I noticed earlier we had 4 likes and then it dropped down to 3, and now we're back up to 4. Let's see. Ryan said, so people will buy the new anti-kaiju card. I heard that there's a new anti-kaiju card. What does it do, though? Then Quest said, no, it's queer. I mean, queef. Nah, I'm gonna give you a nickname. I don't think I could just sit here and just constantly say queef. So, welcome to the stream, Quest. It's good to have you. I was thinking about calling you Q, but I have a friend named Q, and I want to like avoid confusion between the two. He said, call me Keith then. I'm down with Keith. Keith is a solid name. Ryan said, it shits on kaijus. Well, that's what you'd expect for an anti-kaiju card. But how so? Like, what does it do? Does it prevent the kaiju from tributing your monster to be summoned? Like, does it like... Oh, is it a kaiju card that summons when your opponent attempts to summon a kaiju card? But you get a card and they don't get a summon? Like, is that how it works? Like, how hard is it shitting on kaijus? Also, does anyone play kaijus in the anime at all? Because kaiju's got a lot of, like, legitimate play and, like, the actual meta for a while. So it would be interesting to have seen them in, you know, the anime at some point. Ryan said, in virus to 3. Virus. Oh, Eradicator Epidemic Virus? What does that do? Ryan said, kaijus have never been in the anime. Are kaijus a TCG only thing? Because that would be weird. Oh, wow. They're TCG exclusive? That's so weird. So, are you saying kaijus just aren't in the OCG at all? But isn't the OCG what people play in Japan? And isn't Japan all about, like, giant monsters and shit? That's odd. Ryan said the Icy has them now. What's the Icy? Rukia Squad 6 said, you seem tired? I'm not too tired, believe it or not. I do need to go to bed after this. Ryan meant to say the OCG has them now. Oh, interesting. So, my time is currently 3:37 a.m. Collin's going to try and pick me up around 11:30 a.m. But knowing Collin, that really means he's going to try to pick me up around like 10:30 a.m. We're going to go see the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie tomorrow. And it's going to be like me, Collin, Jarrod, maybe Avery. I'm not sure if Avery's going. Dozer. Those are the people that I know are confirmed going. CJ learned about it today, so I'm not sure if CJ's going. And Avery may or may not be going. I'm not sure if Collin bought Avery a ticket or not. Let's see. Ryan said, as they came out a while ago. So it's interesting that the OCG is just now getting kaijus. The OCG has such a different, like, banned and limited list. It's hard for me to tell, like, how kaijus would affect them versus how it affected us in the TCG. Rukia Squad 6, I'd like to welcome you to the stream, by the way. At the beginning of the stream, I talked about my day. Now, I'm just hanging out with you guys in the live chat, just having a conversation. You know, feel free to ask me anything, bring up any topic. Be more than happy to discuss it. Then after that, I'm going to go over my day again, but with no interruptions from the live chat. So definitely stay tuned for that. Let's see. Ryan said they have had kaijus for a while. He said the virus can destroy all your spell cards or all your traps. In the deck? What are the conditions for it? Like, to get it off? Is it just like a tribute-based condition? Because that would be interesting. Oh yeah, and feel free to ask me any questions that you guys might have. I'm a pretty open book, so feel free to treat this like an AMA, but also feel free to bring up any interesting discussion topics that you may have. Also, because I write out my day in the description box below, if you have any questions about my day, feel free to ask them to me now. Ryan said by tributing a dark monster with 2500 plus attack. Game's easy. With Lair, can't you just, with the greatest of ease, like, fulfill that condition? Lard Boy Lulu said, hey, what's this? Yo, Lard, welcome to the stream. It's good to have you. Don't forget to smash that like button if you haven't already. So this is my vlog live stream. I do these live streams every night, sometime after midnight, sometimes right at midnight, and I talk about the previous day. I go into detail about everything that I did that day at the beginning without reading the live chat. Then after I go over my day, I hang out with you guys in the live chat. We just like shoot the shit. You guys can ask me whatever you want. It's just a good way for me to like hang out with my audience. We get to like know each other, etc. Then after that, I go over my day one more time without reading the live chat in order to let me just get through the day really quickly without any interruption and to allow people who come in late to be able to hear about my day directly from me. And then after that, I just more or less end the stream. Right now we have 9 minutes left in the stream before I go over my day again. Also, everything I did today is in the description box below if you just want to jump in the description and read about my day. Lard said, why? Lard's like, why do you do this? Reason why I do this, I learned not too long ago that a lot of the people who watch my channel are just straight up interested in like hearing about my day and like talking with me and like just learning more about my life. So I feel like the vlog is a nice way for us to be able to do that like on a regular basis. For some people who watch the channel, it's like the main way that I get to talk directly like to you. If you're not able to make it to like other streams or you're not able to stay for very long, this is like a good way for you to like check in on me, see how I'm doing, but also a way for us to interact with each other. And I just think that's really cool. I feel like viewer interaction is a big part of like the channel, and it's a big part of what I like. Ryan said, you pick spells or traps and destroy all of the traps from their field, hand, and all drawn of that type for 3 turns. Okay, for 3 turns. Not to act like that's a small thing or anything, but it's interesting that it's like only for 3 turns. Lard said, you look fuzzy. I am fuzzy. Ryan said, while lair decks aren't the most optimal, there are other decks that can utilize the virus. Okay. Why would a lair deck not be the most optimal? Couldn't you have like a weird lair equip hybrid and do stuff like boost your opponent's monster and tribute it with lair? Like what is like the more optimal form of deck for trying to get that virus off? I guess there are probably better ones. He said lair decks are pretty vulnerable. Could you see it be played in like a dark magician deck, considering the fact that you can do stuff like what's the dark magician trap card or whatever that special summons dark magicians from the graveyard? Couldn't you like use whatever that trap card is? Like I said, I can't remember the name of it, and use it to special summon a dark magician from your graveyard or from your hand, and then tribute that dark magician you summon to activate the effect, considering the fact that a dark magician is a dark monster and does have, I think, exactly 2500 attack. He said lair decks are pretty vulnerable to removal and consistency issues. He said you could use it in Dark Magician and in Cosmos. You do like Cosmos, and I think you have played Dark Magician before in the past, have you not? I'm not sure now that I say it out loud. I know some people in our group have. Then Ryan said, and Thunder Dragon. I know Kratos got really hyped for Thunder Dragon when the new stuff came out. Lard said, I see. You seem cool. Subbed and liked. Thank you kindly. Truly appreciate it. Let's see. So right now, what is on my mind? We have 6 minutes left, 6 minutos. Feel free to talk about anything that you would like. Bring up any ideas that you may have for discussion. I'd be more than happy to talk with you all about it. So feel free to ask me anything. Feel free to bring up any topics that you want to talk about, and I'm ready to just go in and discuss. Large said, "Wow, you need 10 more subs." I feel like the tens places are like the hardest to get. So whenever I hit like something and 10, it always feels like an uphill battle. You'll like lose some, you'll gain some, it fluctuates. It just takes a little bit to like get to the point that you need. Ryan said, and Malefic's specifically with their new support, Malefic's support has been very interesting. I've been watching the DYPGO videos or DYGO or I never know how to say his name because it's just a bunch of letters. But it's like a Yugi tuber. I watch a lot of his videos, and I've been interested in how he's reacted to the Malefic support. He seems to be really enjoying it. It's interesting to see Malefic support this late in the game. I kind of thought that archetype was dead, but I guess I was wrong. Then Ryan said, Jet, are you an abolitionist? I think you've asked this question recently, Ryan. If you're asking if I believe that slavery is wrong, yeah, yeah. Do I want to abolish slavery in places that I don't live in? Uh, I don't have any control over that. I mean, if it was up to me, I would probably be like, yeah, you guys shouldn't have slaves. That's my opinion on that. Monkey said, hey, now you're legit close to 1K, lol. Yeah, I just heard that I'm like 10 away. That's good to hear. It'll probably take a hot minute to get past the 10. It all depends on like how many subscribers I get within like a certain period. Let's see. Ryan said my dad bought a MAGA hat, Make America Great Again hat, and then he said which is a fascist hat. Then Ryan said the U.S. still has slaves. Explain. Then BC said, hey, yo, BC, welcome to the stream. It's good to have you. Don't forget to smash that like button. Truly appreciate it. Let's see. Right now, BC is talking about chickens. Do 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 do. Right now, we have 3 minutos left in the stream. Thank you for smashing the like button. Truly appreciate it. We got 3 minutos left in the stream. Feel free to ask me anything. I mean, absolutely anything that you want. Monkey said, if you live in the U.S., you're a slave. Please elaborate. Ryan said the 13th Amendment has an exemption. Ooh, do tell. Let's see. Few more minutes left. Once we hit 1 hour of the stream, that's when I go over my day once again, uninterrupted. Let's see. Monkey said, you know, the wall Trump's building. It's not a wall. It's a prison. Dramatic music. Dun 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 dun. Yo, BC, thank you for smashing that subscribe button. Truly appreciate it. I feel like BC and Super Saiyan 2 Kefla would get along. Ryan said, prisoners can be slaves. What? Constitutionally. That's an interesting concept. So you could go to prison and be made into a slave? I mean, in what capacity are prisoners slaves? Excuse me. BC said, I smashed it all right. Ryan said they do that. They do that? Like, make prisoners slaves? Also, isn't that like the most dangerous kind of slave you can get? Like a criminal? Forced prison labor. I mean, that is a thing. But when I think slaves, I normally think of something a little more severe than forced prison labor. Not to say that forced prison labor is like light by any standards, but I mean like severe as in you're held by someone who can essentially do whatever they want to you or make you do whatever they want you to do. Like when I think of slavery, I think of it in the way of like someone could tell you to do like literally anything and you just like have to do it because you're like considered like property or whatever. So when you said like in the 13th Amendment that there's an exemption where you can make like prisoner slaves, I was like, whoa, like straight up slaves? It's crazy. Yo, spread those. Welcome to the stream. It's good to have you. I'm gonna call you Spread. Feel free to smash that like button. Truly appreciate it. Let's see. So we have a few more seconds left before I go over my day. Again, Monkey said, and without pay, and you're treated badly. Yeah. I mean, like, worst case scenario slavery, I think about the and you're treated badly. Sometimes I think of slavery as just like you have to do whatever they say, but it's not necessarily you're treated badly. It's just shit that you may not want to do. Let's see. Spread said, "Are you doing a sleep stream?" Nope. I don't do the type of stream where you like sleep and you just leave the camera on or whatever. Uh, I've just not been a fan of that. I really like audience interaction, so I feel like there wouldn't be any point to that. We've now hit an hour in the stream, so the portion of the stream where I like hang out with the live chat and I talk with you all has now like hit the ending point. So now I'm just gonna go over my day one more time. Feel free to react to my day in the live chat. I'll read live chat messages after I go over my day, but for like this point forward, it's gonna be me going over my notes for the day. All those notes are in the description if you want to follow along. Then after that, I'll read you guys' live chat comments that are in direct reaction to like what I've done today. So without further ado, I'm gonna jump right in talking about my day. So I went to sleep right after Matt and Jarrod left. When I woke up, I exercised and I watched a YouTube channel called Pretty Much It. Pretty Much It is a YouTube channel that does comedic movie commentary. Think of it like Game Grumps, but instead of them like playing a game, they're watching a movie. And it seems like a pretty good like channel. I've already smashed that subscribe button. I really like their Spy Kids 3D commentary. It was pretty solid. Spy Kids 3D, by the way, is my favorite 3D movie of all time. It's pretty good. I went to the mandatory scholarship meeting for this month. We have one every month. I had root beer and pizza for my one meal for the day. I was kind of afraid that they weren't going to let me get 4 slices, but luckily they did. Hey. So it was enough for me to get my one meal that I needed. The meeting went well. I learned about 2 up-and-coming interview opportunities. I made sure to submit my resume in the hopes that I may be selected for those 2 interviews. I really hope I am. It would give me the opportunity to maybe get a job offer for an agency that's actually in the area. So cross your fingers, wish me luck. I truly need it. Let's see. So after my meeting, Collin picked me up from the building that the meeting was in, the optics building. A. Collin, Jarrod, and I then went to Publix to pick up a few things. I have been in desperate need of a few groceries, so I got the groceries that I needed. I paid back Collin for the movie ticket because he bought me a Dragon Ball Super Broly ticket. By the way, we're gonna go see Dragon Ball Super Broly today at 4 p.m. But Collin's gonna pick me up at like 10 or 11:30 a.m. for whatever reason. So that's gonna be interesting. It's to hang out before the movie, but it's just a little early. We'll see how that goes. So I got the money to pay back Collin because I normally just carry like card, so I had to like get cash. So I did like cash back at Publix. So I got the groceries I needed. I got the cash back to pay Collin back for the movie ticket, and Collin picked up fresh pizzas for D&D. Collin normally gets DiGiorno, but this time around he went to the Publix deli, and he had like the deli people like, it's not like he asked them and they like made it right on the spot in front of him. He went to the Publix deli and he took one of their like pre-made pizzas that they had made like that day, put in a box and put it in the freezer, and bought it. I honestly didn't hear their opinion on it about like whether or not they really liked that pizza more than DiGiorno, but I know when they bought it, they were like, "Man, there's gonna be a big quality jump. It's gonna be better quality that we bought like this fresh pizza." But then I didn't hear anyone go, "Man, I can really taste how fresh it is. Oh, these fresh ingredients are like really good." Like no one said that. So I'm curious to see if it was worth it that they bought the fresh pizzas. I'm not sure. Uh, and I'm gonna move forward. So back at Collin's place in his apartment, everybody's character leveled up because the way that Collin does D&D, after every session your character levels up. My D&D character, he leveled up. He can now better track and recall information concerning fairies. He also can now speak the language of fairies and better explore, track, and forage across coastal regions. Originally, my character could do that with Beast, so he can like speak the language of Beast, and he can like better recall information about Beast. And he originally was good at like exploring and tracking and foraging in like forest regions. Um, so with this level up, not only am I good with Beast and Forest, but I'm also now good with Fairies and Coast. So it's not like I switched those things out. I now am just good at both things, which is good because in this campaign we fight fairies a lot. We're facing off against the cult of Oberon in D&D, and Oberon is the god of fairies, so a lot of the cult is made up of fairies. So the fact that my character in D&D is now better at like recalling information about fairies and tracking them down, it'll be easier for us to take down the cult of Oberon. So that's gonna be pretty dope, pretty dope. Anyways, so we played Smash Bros for a bit as CJ, Avery, Matt, and Dozer started arriving for D&D. Then once everyone arrived, Dozer made his character. Dozer's now the third ranger in the party, which is odd because Collin specifically was like, I don't want more than one person playing the same class. And then three people who didn't talk to each other about like what they're doing all ended up picking the same class. So we have like three rangers in the party. And Colin's like, well, you guys didn't do that intentionally. So I guess it's fine that we have like three rangers. So now we have three people who focus on using like long range weapons, more or less. So as we continued forward from there, we started playing D&D. So the worst moment in today's D&D session for my character is that my character, who now is this badass who knows how to like hunt down fairies and shit, tries to hit a fairy in its weak spot with a quarterstaff, misses, the staff hits the ground, bounces off the ground, and then hits my character in the face. So, in the same session where my character suddenly knows all this new information about fairies and like the best ways to take down fairies, my character then like binks himself like right in the head with a staff. So, it was kind of an embarrassing moment, and it leads into my character eventually getting knocked unconscious in a fight against fairies, which should be like one of the main enemies that my character is best at beating. So, wonk wonk. Wah, 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 wah. And then the best moment in today's D&D session for my character was actually Dozer's character being introduced into the story. At every twist and turn where my character was about to get fucked over in a fight, Dozer's character would show up and save my character, whether it be me getting attacked by a bunch of possessed apples. Dozer's character slid in and sliced like 8 apples in half with like a single slice, which was pretty impressive because I was getting attacked by like 36 sentient apples with teeth and legs. They're all like kicking and like biting at me and shit. And Dozer comes in and like Samurai Jackson just cuts them all in half. And then Dozer saved me when I was fighting up against the fairies. When I like knocked myself in the face with the quarterstaff, Dozer came to my aid and used cure wounds to like heal my character so that we could try and fight side by side against the fairies. Because it was like a whole bunch of fairies, but two of them were isolated like away from the rest of the group, and we were more or less fighting those two fairies on our own. So that was like an interesting like combat encounter. Excuse me. But I'd like to say, in the eyes of my character, Dozer's character was the MVP. Shout out to Dozer, because his character really did pull through to try and like rescue my character whenever they were in danger, and I appreciate that. So after playing D&D, we played fighting games for a while. It took a while for me to get back into my groove in Blaze Blue. We haven't played Blaze Blue in a long time. It's a Japanese anime fighter made by the same people who made Dragon Ball Fighter Z and Guilty Gear. I played a few pretty close games and won a few nice battles. And I mean close. I mean like both life bars get like this small, and I won a few where I was able to like get that last bit of health off my opponent, and you like shake hands because it was just like a really solid close game between like two people of like pretty close skills. And I lost a few where like they got the upper hand on me, but you know, sportsman, I'm all about shaking those hands. I love close matches. That's like my favorite thing about fighting games because it shows that you and your opponent both tried your hardest and you both got to that like even like level, like where you're both good enough to give each other a hard enough challenge. But I also had a few matches where I got fucking trounced in Blaze Blue. I had some matches where my opponent almost got it perfect. Almost. That was one thing that I seemed to be pretty good at. When my opponent was like completely like trouncing me, like they hadn't been hit the whole time, and I'm like a slither away, and they have like their whole health bar. Without fail, I would always hit them right before I died, and make them lose that perfect. And even though they won the fight and won the fight by a huge margin, they still get upset because they didn't get that perfect. You essentially steal that perfect from them. And it's just like an interesting thing to be able to do. Because it shows that even though my opponent completely outmatched me, they still weren't able to go beyond. Now, Collin was able to get at least one perfect off on me. So, congratulations to Collin on that. And that's understandable. I feel like the character that Collin plays is a really like strong damage character, and for a while he had like a move that was really giving me some trouble. It's a dive kick move that his character had. I just didn't know how to play around it. It took me a while to realize that the move didn't actually have a lot of horizontal mobility. So as long as I saw him preparing to do it, it wasn't too hard to dodge out of the way. But for a while, I was like, I have no idea how to deal with that fucking dive kick. That shit was crazy. But I had a lot of fun playing Blaze Blue. After playing fighting games, Max took Jarrod and I back to our respective homes, and in the car we shared our thoughts on tonight's D&D session. I've been talking a lot about the D&D session. If you guys want to check it out, we have like a 4-hour live stream of it on the channel, so feel free to check that out on the channel. It's already posted. And then once I got home, I put away my groceries, I took out the trash, and started exercising. After I exercised, I watched more Pretty Much It, which I do still highly recommend. It's a great YouTube channel. And ate my one meal for the day, which was 3 bowls of cereal and a burrito. I bought like 22 burritos today, so I wouldn't have to worry about buying more burritos in the future. After that, I jumped in the shower, got dressed, freshened up, and I started this live stream. Now I'm going to read over the live chat real quick, and then after that, I'm going to end the stream. So let's see. Monkey D. Luffy said, can I watch you sleep? And then he did the like laughing but crying emoji. Then Spread said, oh. The monkey said, rip Game Grumps. They split up, I think. So Game Grumps used to be Aaron Hansen and JonTron. JonTron is no longer a member of Game Grumps. They replaced Aaron with Dan Avedon. I actually prefer Aaron and Dan Game Grumps than I do Aaron and JonTron. I just personally don't think JonTron's that funny. No offense to JonTron, great YouTuber. It's just not my particular taste in humor. I just don't really vibe with JonTron as much as I vibe with Danny. So like I said, no offense to JonTron. I just prefer the Danny and Aaron combo. Let's see. Nani said, oh, it's in the end mark. He said, we need more Bangzel and Winslow on stream. He said, maybe Matt or that other guy. More. He said, now, or I'm bringing out my Glock 40 with the extensive clip with a rainbow camo. Where do you hide with a rainbow camo? Are you trying to steal a bowl of Lucky Charms? It just seems like hella impractical. Then Monkey said, your character got clapped. And then he said, possessed apples. Nani? Yeah, the city that we're in D&D was built over, well, the city we were in. We actually had to evacuate the city in today's campaign. One of our team members, who's the son of a god, punched another team member directly in their face, a female team member, and said that it was his sex slave in order to try and get out of some trouble. Got himself into even more trouble, ran away from the guards, got shot at multiple times, and was forced to leave the city by boat while the rest of us left by train. So the city we were in, the capital city, was built on a graveyard, and that graveyard was where the last session of the previous campaign took place. Is where the big boss battle happened. In Collin's D&D universe, whenever someone with great magical power dies, they explode. And if you're not careful, you can get turned to dust. The person we killed was Ekel, aka Loki, the god of mischief. So when we killed him in the last campaign, he exploded, and tons of people just got turned to ash, just got straight Thanos snapped. And the capital city in this campaign was built on top of that, so it's just haunted. They're just fucking ghosts everywhere. And they can just possess random shit, apparently, because they possessed a bunch of apples that I fought. Those apples also killed the king, which was a big plot point as well in today's D&D campaign. Broly Sama said, slice them up, slice them up, slice them up, slice them up, slice them up. He didn't say slice up, he said slice me up. Yo, Broly Sama, welcome to the stream. It's good to have you. Don't forget to smash that like button. Really appreciate it. Call Nickabenson, he's crying, said, hey. He said, can you give me a pose of you crying? I mean, I don't really have, like, a crying face that I know of. Like, Like, I don't know. Like, was that good? Then Nani said, "Have a good one, Nix. You're awesome." Oh, thank you kindly, Nani. Truly appreciate it. Then he said, "No homo." No homo taken. Then Call said, "Pose." Then Nani said, "Lol." Then he said, "I need a Winslow one." He said, "I lost those other accounts." Then he put like crying face. And he said, "Okay, that's good. Thank you." Thank you all for watching. If you like this video, make sure to smash that like button, favorite, comment, subscribe, and ding ding ding, ring that notification bell to be notified whenever we do these live streams. Thank you all once again for tuning in. I hope you all have a wonderful night, and peace. This is your host, your friend, your boy, Jet Black, the one and only. Log it out. Peace.